Hey, what's up guys? Joker here. Hope you're all doing well and had a great week. Today we're going to be talking about a couple of news stories in the world of tech and PC gaming. Before going into the weekend, we've got some leaked numbers for the RX 6700 XT, which is going to be releasing very, very soon, next week actually. You guys will be getting official numbers on that, but we've got some leaked performance at 1440p in over 20 games, courtesy of WCCFTech and their sources. We've also got 20 new games on the Xbox Game Pass now that Microsoft has completed their acquisition of Bethesda. Some Bethesda games are going to be going up on the Game Pass beginning today, and also Crysis Remastered may actually finally run with ray tracing on the PC as it got a update to support DLSS, so that's good to hear. But first, today's video is brought to you by Prime Tech Mart, where you can grab software products like Windows 10 Pro licenses for extremely cheap. They've also got Office products and Vizio, as well as many more. You can save a lot of money on these keys with something like Windows 10 Pro. You can grab for just $21.43. It's a lifetime activation, so you don't ever need to renew it. You don't need to create an account with them in order to be able to buy it, and you get your key in just a matter of seconds. And if you hit up the links down in the description below and you want to save yourself an additional 20% off of any software over there, just go ahead and use my code JP20 at checkout, apply that, and it'll drop down 20%. So here on Windows 10 Pro for $21, we drop that down to $17, and you're fully activated for life. For more information, check out those links down in the description below along with the coupon code. First up, though, we will be starting off over on WCCFTech, who have posted up a series of benchmarks for the RX 6700 XT at 1440p as well as 1080p ahead of embargo, which is supposed to be next week. You guys are supposed to be able to get official numbers, but they have posted it from their quote-unquote sources, which we don't know exactly who those sources are, but I'm surprised they're even posting these numbers since they have their own cards and stuff like that, but I guess I'm kind of doing the same thing, but it's out there in the world now. It's out there in the public, so therefore we're legally allowed to report on it. So that's what I'm doing here, showing you these numbers here on the 6700 XT, which was tested against the RTX 3070 and the 3060 Ti. It can be a little hard to read this. It's got the numbers up there, the data, but the red is your 6700 XT, the yellow is the 3070, and the blue is your 3060 Ti. So you can see it kind of going down there in descending order. But the big takeaway from looking at the data there is that the 6700 XT is actually doing really well, and it's priced at $479, so it's $20 cheaper than the 3070, but it's actually trading blows with it. A lot of people are jumping on this and saying, oh, AMD is like dominating them, but going through the games tested here, it's actually split right down the middle. AMD took 11 titles on the 6700 XT, the 3070 ran better in 11 games, and then they were tied in one. So yeah, it's tied 11-11 and then a tie in one game. So really, it's split right down the middle. So it sounds like when this card comes out, if you're able to purchase this or 3070, you probably can't go wrong with either one, although the 6700 XT is going to have the extra VRAM, which will be nice if you want to rely on that, for any certain applications or games in the future and be a little bit more future-proof there. But in terms of just raw performance, it seems like these cards are going to trade blows for years to come in, depending on the game, the engine, who the developer supports and works with ahead of launch, whether it's a, GeForce title or a Radeon title or whatever. That's really what's going to decide at the end of the day which one of these cards runs better, because it sounds like they're pretty much neck and neck all the way down the board with all these games, just really depending on engine, whatever, and all those other factors. But yes, 6700 XT is shaping up to be pretty good. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below if you're looking to pick one of these up. The early rumors are saying that their supply issues are supposed to be better with the 6700 XT, but we shall just have to wait and see on that. Next up, talking about the Xbox Game Pass, which is a great feature, and now they're going to be adding in some new games. As you guys are aware, we covered this earlier in the week, and Bethesda joining Microsoft, which actually happened last year, but now they've only just completed the acquisition, and they are moving fast, as this was reported late yesterday, and they said tomorrow being today, these 20 games will be joining the Game Pass. New to the Game Pass, they're not new games, but they are new to the Game Pass. But they are sort of new-ish. Still very modern titles, very playable titles for the most part in all these games. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. We got both of the Dishonored games. I never got around to playing the second one. Might check that out. Looks like we've got some classic Doom titles here. Pretty much all the Dooms. Doom Eternal. We got Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 4. Oddly enough, Fallout 3 is missing from the list. We got Fallout 76, Steel Dawn, Prey, Rage 2, Morrowind, Oblivion, a little bit older titles, Skyrim, Elder Scrolls Online, Evil Within. We got Wolfenstein New Order, which is an amazing game. Old Blood, which is sort of like a standalone expansion to New Order, worth playing. Youngblood was sort of like the same thing, but for the Wolfenstein 2, New Colossus, it was like a standalone expansion to that. Not as good, honestly. Youngblood, in my personal opinion, not as good. They brought co-op into it, which was like, okay, but honestly, at the end of the day, Youngblood wasn't that good. But Old Blood, I enjoyed that. That was like Return to Castle Wolfenstein type shit. And then Wolfenstein The New Order was fantastic. So I'm not sure if I'll really check these games out once they're added to the Game Pass. Maybe Dishonored 2. But pretty much all these titles I've already played before. But for any of you out there that do have a Game Pass and want to take advantage of it, these will be on the PC. As you can see, they have like, it's been notated whether it's going to be on just PC or just console or both or whatever. But it seems like pretty much most of these are pretty much all going to be on all platforms. Although New Vegas seems to be limited to just the Xbox it's showing there. So that's a little bit of an odd choice. But anyway, 20 new games on the Game Pass. If you got the Game Pass, you can't really complain about it, so go ahead and check them out now. And last up, but certainly not least, Crysis Remastered, which came out last year. Really bad performance issues, extremely demanding. It was almost like, can you run Crysis all over again? Because they added in a ridiculous amount of ray tracing onto the game and improved the visuals in all sorts of other ways with lighting, draw distance, shadows, texture quality, resolution, all that stuff. And, you know, it had a lot of performance issues, especially with ray tracing. But now with DLSS, which it really should have had at launch, because it was kind of, you know, one of the early titles that they sort of remastered. They could have really taken way more advantage of some of the tech that they did, in my personal opinion. And DLSS sort of seems like a gimme, honestly. If you're going to be remastering one of the most demanding titles of all time and making it once again one of the most demanding titles to run, even on a 3080 or a 3090, you think maybe you'd pair that up with DLSS to kind of show off that the game could actually run, except what we ended up getting was a few people got the game to benchmark early before it came out, like Linus, and they ended up trying to like test it in 8K, and the game ran at 13 frames per second. Like, who the fuck was that going to sell on buying it? Nobody. So, yeah, maybe you should have shipped it with DLSS, guys. Work on your marketing a little bit there, because that one was really fucking questionable, if I'm being perfectly honest. But yeah, I've not tried out the DLSS, but according to DSOG, this was patched in, and they also say that there's been some graphical issues with the DLSS, as Crytek has noted some distant textures can appear to be blurred when DLSS is activated. So maybe that's why they didn't have it at launch, is they're still having issues with it. But I think they could have gotten it resolved earlier on, and I'm sure they'll get it resolved now that they've got DLSS in the game. So that's all I've got for you guys today. Please let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on the 6700 XT numbers, the Game Pass games, the Crysis Remastered finally getting DLSS. Maybe I'll actually give enough of a fuck to try it now. But that's all I've got for you guys. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here and enjoy my weekend, and I hope you all do the same as well. And I'll see you back here on Monday, same time, same place, which is never really the same time. It's always the same place. Whatever, you know. Have a good weekend. Turn.